Tuongeleshe kidogo. Ladies and gentlemen, before I proceed, maybe if you have been on our seat for so long, so maybe a little bit if we can stand up and stretch a little bit. I'm seeing one colleague behind there trying to doze, maybe thinking so much. So please, if you can greet your neighbor. If you have not exchanged contacts, please do so. This is the moment. Yeah. Tanzania, oye. Okay, please, you may be seated. Thank you so much. Yeah. Now, before I proceed, I just want to make one comment regarding what Dr. Kevin has just said about Kiswahili, where it was born, got sick, died, and eventually buried. Those three countries he was trying to mention, they are vastly Kiswahili speakers. This is the language number one, which is the most African spoken language in Africa, where 200 million people subscribe to it. So you can see the way he was making his remarks in Kiswahili. It was very, very attractive and very interesting to listen to. Yeah. So I believe also my sister, Dr. Patricia, has picked some Kiswahili words, and normally when she visits me in my office, she speaks some Kiswahili, yes, with some difficulties, but she tries. She tries. And I believe as long as she's here and I'm a teacher, I'll be doing more classes for her. So that next time when we have an event like this, she will address us in Kiswahili. So thank you so much, Patricia. Dr. Kevin Kariuki, the Vice President, Energy Power, Climate Change and Green Growth Complex from the African Development Bank. Engineer Frichesi Mramba, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Energy. Dr. Patricia, Country Manager, Tanzania Office. Members of the Development Corps. Mr. Sabi. I didn't know Mr. Sabi has a lot of titles. He's the NBC CEO, the chair of the Bankers Association, private sector, .. and many others. Members from the diplomatic corps, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, habarini ya mchana. I thank the Almighty God's blessings of good health and for allowing us to meet here today. I'm delighted and honored to open the 9th Africa Energy Marketplace. This is the first time that Tanzania, as an African Development Bank regional member country, is hosting this policy dialogue platform that brings together stakeholders from government ministries, agencies, private sector, and civil society groups to hold a dialogue on energy sector issues related to it. I would like to commend the African Development Bank for its unwavering support and collaborating with the government of Tanzania, in particular our Minister of Energy, to make this event possible. I would also like to appreciate all of you for honoring the invitation to discuss how we can further develop Tanzania's energy sector to provide affordable, reliable, and sustainable, and also modern energy for all in the year 2030. Mr. Vice President, hosting the 9th African Energy Marketplace is timely for Tanzania as we prepare to host the African Heads of States Energy Compact Summit that will be bringing together heads of states of African countries, development partners, and investors to facilitate investment in the energy sector that will enable 300 million people across Africa to access to electricity by 2030. So you can see the journey is very short. We have only 6 years ahead of us. It is my hope that the recommendation and priorities plan that will come out of the panel discussion on this dialogue in these next 2 days will inform the executive panel sessions at the coming African Heads of State Energy Compact Summit that is set to happen in January 2025. Mr. Vice President, I understand that the 9th Africa Energy Marketplace theme is delivering the Clean Cooking Initiative and National Energy Access Goals. This theme is well-fitting for Tanzania for 2 key reasons. Number one, as a country, we have made some steps and measures have been taken on that endeavor. Tanzania is committed to transitioning from transition cooking method to clean energy technology by 2030. We are working to address the extensive use of firewood. Currently, 84.8% of the household in the rural area and 17.4% household in the urban area use firewood for cooking. Through our newly launched 10 years clean cooking national strategy, we want to achieve the target of having 80% of Tanzanians using clean cooking solution by 2034. I'm accurately aware the challenges ahead of us in transitioning from the traditional practices to clean cooking, and it is my hope that the dialogue which is set before us will provide some solutions to some challenges. Issues like lack of access to adequate, affordable, and sustainable solutions. Many households, predominantly in the rural areas, struggle to adopt the clean cooking solution due to high cost, limited availability, insufficient supply chain. Secondly, clean cooking solution is hampered by insufficient research and innovation. There is also a lack of awareness on economic opportunity available in the clean cooking, hindering the development of clean cooking solution. And lastly, is the absence of partnership to support the clean cooking access for all. And with this, I thank the AFDB for the support they have been providing to this initiative the country has taken. Number two, Tanzania has made considerable progress in expanding energy access in urban and rural areas. Access to electricity in the country is at 72%. However, household connectivity, especially in the rural areas of Tanzania, has remained very relatively low, currently only at 6% of the rural household and 79% of the household in urban areas are connected to electricity. Our goal as a country is to extend electricity access to households, not just in the villages, but to the entire country. Mr. Vice President, REA, the rural electrification, which is a long journey partner of AFDB, particularly under the Rural Electrification Connection Densification Project, we are working to increase the number of households connected to the grid with the target reaching at 100% of all villages having access to electricity and 75% metered connection in mainland by the year 2030. We are also working to accelerate the productive use of electricity in rural areas to boost rural economy and socio-economic development. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, wananchi wanataka umeme. Wananchi hawataki maneno. I may translate this. Our citizens want electricity. Our citizens do not want words. With that saying in mind, it is my hope that the session that we are about to sit through in the next 2 days will generate recommendations with implementable actions, clear timelines that will help increase the number of Tanzanians who have access to electricity and Tanzanian adopted to clean cooking solution. This is the time we should make it happen. And with the presence of the FDB, as I have said, these are the rainmakers. We want the rain. because you are here, we believe mtanyesha Watanzania wapate umeme, and this is what they want. Mr. Vice President, I was to be joined by a number of ministers, the Minister of Finance, Minister of President's Office, Planning and Investment, Minister of Water, who is represented, the Minister of State, Union Matters and Environment. I was also to be joined by the Minister of Brand Housing and Human Settlement Development. But because of the election which is ahead of us, we are busy doing the registration for the voters' registration. Now we have received some directives. We need all of us, especially ministers, to be to the site to make sure the registration is done in a proper manner so that we exercise the democracy of our country in a peaceful way. So I'm sure, and I have directed them to send some representatives who will be also joining with you so that whatever we deliberate together should be implementable across ministries. In closing, I would like again to express my gratitude to the African Development Bank, to you, yourself, my sister Patricia, and our development partners, the panelists, for your support. Let us continue to work hand to hand as we drive forward the energy revolution that Africa needs. I wish you a fruitful deliberations, and please, those who are coming out of Tanzania, kindly find time to visit some of our attractive sites. I know some of you maybe have never gone to Zanzibar. Please use this opportunity to cross the ocean and see how Zanzibar looks. Those who wish to go to the northern part of the country, we have the most attractive mountain Kilimanjaro, and we have some areas like Serengeti, Ngorongoro. Please spare some few days, visit those sites, because you're already here. There is no need to go back without going through those sites. Having said all that, I thank you for your kind attention. Karibuni sana, and I wish you well. Asanteni sana kwa kunisikiliza.